Hey, viewers, George here. To just talk about a game, give my general first impression of things. I honestly never thought this day would come where I would probably be really unpleased with a Nintendo first party game. Because so far, I mean, with all these first impressions I've done, and even beyond that, I can't really say I've played a Nintendo game where I you know did not enjoy it at all. Every time I played a Nintendo game, I've always seemed to liked it in some shape, way, or form, and will still be more than happy to continue playing it. Yeah, I honestly cannot think of a Nintendo game where I did not like it. So, the day has come where I've stumbled upon a Nintendo game that I really did not like. Uh, and it seems so weird that something like that exists. And, and of course, the game I'm talking about is Mario Party Island Tour. I just remember that there is two other Nintendo games that I don't care for. And oddly enough, this game right here just concretes that fact even more. Is I've never played a Mario Party game that has been on a handheld system that I've enjoyed. There were two other ones, of course. There was the one that was on the DS, and there was the one that was on the Game Boy Advance. And those weren't that great. And this just follows suit. So, if you never played Mario Party before, essentially what it was is, as a Mario characters, you go around this game board. And at the end of every turn, you play a mini game, and the whole point of it was you were trying to collect enough money, or the gold coins, so you could buy a star. And the person who had the most stars at the end of the game was the winner. Over the years, they sort of tweaked within. They've been going through changes, and I'm fine with changes. I mean, I like Mario Party 9. It was a really neat idea to have everyone in the same, moving in the same amount of spaces or something like that, moving together, and it brought a bit of strategy to the series, which had never been seen, because before it was just essentially a tiny bit of skill, but a lot of luck involved. So, I heard they're bringing Mario Party to the 3DS, and, with the way that it had been going on the consoles and the way that, they were showing that they can make some really good, games on the 3DS that were console-worthy, essentially, I was looking forward to it. I was like, this is going to be great, we're going to have a portable Mario Party game. You can play with people, if you're on the bus or something like that, or if you're out or you're going on that long trip, and you could play with your friends and you could play a Mario Party game. It'll be great. It'll be fun. Nope. Nope. They do so many things that you would think would be, common sense, and they just don't do it. Let's get the good stuff out of the way first, because there are a few things I like about it, but when you see some of the bad things, it sort of glosses over a lot of it. I like the board designs. The few boards I tried, they're at least presentation-wise interesting, and they try and have stuff happening to make it exciting, but ultimately it doesn't really work out that well, because I'll get to that thing. Might as well just say it right now. One of the biggest problems I have with this game, it just is not fun, is boring, is slow paced. Even though games can take anywhere, at the very minimum, the quickest game I've played was probably 5 minutes, and apparently the longest, of course, is like an hour long. Though I doubt I'll ever play a board that long, because the computers, on the normal difficulty, anytime I play a Mario Party game, it's always a standard, that you have at least two computers on the normal difficulty, so at least you get some degree of challenge, and it's not just easy peasy. And then, like, if you want, you can have like one computer on like easy, just for shits and giggles, because that's always fun to see like one of them screw up. But like normally when I play, I always like to have all the computers on like normal, because it just like it's a clean slate. You'll get some sort of challenge from it, because it fucking that always happens. I don't know what went wrong with the difficulty thing, but like the normal difficulty with these computers is piss easy. Like, they present no challenge. I think like the worst case scenario, they get lucky. That's about it. But like they present no challenges, especially during the mini games. It's clearly apparent that like you will breeze through this really easily on the normal difficulty, which is a shame, because that should be like the standard. That should be like the norm. I mean, if I want easy computers, I go to easy. I can only imagine easy is really fucking easy. The minigames are actually, the minigames are probably the highlight of it, obviously, because since you're using the 3DS, and if you were to play with other people, I'll talk about that in a sec. If you were to play with other people, everyone has their own system, so they have essentially their own screen. So there are games that utilize the fact that you have your own screen. And what I really like about that is when you play games where, like, when you go to play games where you have to, like, touch certain things on the screen, or, like, perform certain tasks before everyone else does, a lot of the minigames don't even show you what the other people have, so, like, you don't even know how good you're doing compared to them. I really like that, because there's that element of, like, you have no idea if you're doing any better than anyone else, which definitely makes it a little more frantic. Unless you're playing with the computers on normal difficulty, which you're going to win. So it says here, master 80 new mini games. Master 80 all new mini games. I haven't tried them all, because that's 80 mini games, but the few that I've tried are really cool, and it doesn't really use the 3D, which is unfortunate. I mean, like, it just makes it look nice. Especially with some, it works really well. There's one where, like, there's this cube, and you have to basically try and find, like, the lit up squares, and, like, ground pound them to change them to your color. And you have to try and get as many points from that. And since the cubes are sort of floating in space, it looks really cool in 3D, obviously. So that there are little things like that, but, like, they're very far and few in between. Apparently there are some AR mini games, which, Christ, I didn't even know Nintendo was still focused on that. I thought AR died years ago with the system. But that's a good thing, because AR was always fun. I love the AR mini games. But I never got to try them in this, because I just see it on the back. So mini games are cool. They're the highlight of the game. They're actually probably one of the better things about it. Another neat little thing that they've done with this game, before I get to a couple more of the negatives, one of the neat things is before you go to when you're selecting your boards that you want to play, it shows you a couple things. One, it shows you roughly how long the board will take, which is a nice little feature. But like I said, the quickest I've played a game was like 5 minutes, and that was a board that was supposed to take anywhere between 10 to 20 minutes. So slightly off, just saying. Another thing that they'll show you is like a bit of a stat, like how much skill is involved in the board, how much luck's involved, and how frequent mini games are played on the board, which is a really nice feature. Because I mean, like, if you're a kind of person who likes to have a little more skill in the games, then you go to a board that requires a little more skill. Or if you prefer like pure chance, then you got a bit of that. And I really like that. That's a nice little thing, because a lot of people always complain about, Mario Party games are about luck or something like that, and there's not enough skill base to it. So like this is supposed to, you know, make those people feel a bit better and like they have that kind of choice to it, which is always nice. It's always welcome when you sort of like inform players and you give them a little more options. The characters you can play are the standards. I mean, like there's you can play as Mario, Luigi, you can play as like Wario, Waluigi, Peach. I think Daisy was in there. I think Toad was in there. Probably not. Boo, Baby Bowser you have to unlock, which I don't know why you want to, because some of the bad things now. Partly good, partly bad. Actually, it's a good point, but like it'll get overshadowed in a second. With playing with other people, only one person has to have a game cartridge, which is good, because it's sort of like it's almost like when you go to play like the old Mario Party games, where like you just go over to someone's place and you pop in the game and you only need the one thing and controllers. It's sort of like that, so that's a really neat thing. Obviously, I haven't tried the multiplayer. And I can only imagine the loading times are tremendously terrible because it's all like, you know, information that's just coming from one person and it's like spreading to the other people. So I can figure from past experiences with using the DS download play that loading times take a while. That's to be expected, of course. Now, if you want to play with your friends, that's the only way you can play with your friends. There is no online feature. There is no feature for if like one of your friends actually owns a copy of the game and you play with another person who owns a copy of the game. Unless you Street Pass. That's the only way you can do it, and you know weird Street Passes with these kind of things and how quickly people will probably ignore it. I mean, like, with any other game, there's really no reason to continue on with the Street Passes. Kind of like it just sort of gets dropped and ignored after like a couple months, and probably with this game a lot quicker than that, because I don't think a lot of people are playing this game because no one's talked about it. But that just blows my mind, is that there is no online multiplayer. If I want to play with a friend of mine who is a couple towns over, I would have to have him come to my place, or I have to come to his place to play Island Tour. And I mean, if I want to play Mario Party with someone and they're coming to my place or I'm going to their place, we just play Mario Party on the consoles because it's readily available and I'm going to someone's place for that. And if I'm doing a DS download play, the only places I can possibly think of where I use that is if I'm over at someone's place, or if I'm like taking the bus or I'm on the train with someone. And if you go to play a traditional Mario Party game, there isn't quite enough time to enjoy a good game of Mario Party, especially in that kind of time. I mean, like, how long does it take to take a bus? 5 minutes tops? 10 minutes tops? Taking the train, if I go to Toronto, I mean, like, that's about an hour, but I mean, like, if I'm taking the train with someone, I mean, then I guess I could play it. I got something to play on the train now. Yay. You know, long trips in the car, sure. If you have someone in there that has another DS. But what it comes down to is it just, the multiplayer feels really not like really thought through. Like they're like, okay, Mario Party has to have multiplayer. How are we going to do this? DS download play. Perfect. Done. Shipped. Like, why isn't there an online feature? Doesn't that make sense? Don't you think there are people who would love to play Mario Party with someone across the world? I mean, like, I can understand why people might not want to do it, because, I mean, like, you'd be playing a game that could last for an hour with someone who's, like, on the other side of the world. But, at the same time, if it's a good Mario Party game, it's fucking great. I don't know, it just seems like a huge, huge missed opportunity. I have no idea why they would miss out on that. But overall, even if they did include it, this game isn't all that fun. Like, I can't possibly see having a whole lot of like genuine fun with this Mario Party game. And I always hate trying like saying it could, especially compared to like past Mario Party games. But that's the thing with Mario Party games is every installment is trying to outbeat the previous installments. And same with this one is this Mario Party has to stand out somehow to make itself worthy, and even in some cases trying to be better than the other Mario Party games. And it just doesn't really work that well. I mean, this isn't that great of a Mario Party game. I mean, it's definitely better than any of the other handheld Mario Parties, but that's not saying a whole lot. That's another thing. I almost forgot to mention this. All the boards are sort of like if you took Mario Party 9's boards, but rather than everyone traveling in the same, like, together, they travel separately. So it's like a race to get to the end. That's not Mario Party! I know I said I don't mind change, but, like, those boards work. I don't mind those kind of boards because those are fun and they actually make for like quick games. Normally they do, but what was wrong with the traditional Mario Party? Like, they don't even add in a board that's like the classic Mario Party, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense because like it would have worked perfectly, and it would be one less thing I would definitely complain about, and people would probably like it a little bit more. But the boards are just like, try to get from one end to the other before everyone else kind of thing. And like some have like various gimmicks, like you collect rockets that you can add on to your dice roll to make you go quicker through the board, or like if you are so good at a mini game, you get a better bonus dice or something like that. Just like little things like that. And like I said, it's gimmicks. The gimmicks are nice, and they help differentiate the board, like make the boards feel different. But it just doesn't really feel fun. It just isn't really Mario Party is what I'm trying to get at. It feels more like Wii Party. If you ever played that, that's basically what Wii Party was, is you get from one end to the other. And that was Wii Party. And, it was good. They actually made Wii Party a lot more fun than this Mario Party, which is the same thing, but they somehow made it a lot more boring and less fun, which is the same as boring. And easy. It is such a waste of, like, perfect opportunity to have a good Mario Party game on a handheld system. Like I said, it's definitely not the worst. The worst one goes to the Game Boy Advance one, if I remember correctly. I haven't played that one in years, and there's a good reason for that. But, like, if you're looking for a Mario Party game that's handheld, and it's a lot like a traditional Mario Party game, the one on the DS was a lot like that. But I remember the boards being, like, really annoying with their gimmicks. So, like, there's always something bad with handheld ones. But this one just isn't all that great. I mean, like, I can totally see why no one's talked about this game. Or, like, why no one's even really bothered to look at it. It doesn't really, work too well as a Mario Party game. And, like I said, what ends up happening is, since it's just a downloadable play, majority of the time, the only times you'll ever get a chance to do a downloadable play with another person is if you're in the same place with them. Well, obviously, if the same place with them, which most of the time will probably be at their house, especially if you're playing a Mario Party game. I mean, you have to devote a little bit of time to it, especially when you play some of the better boards. And in that case, you might as well just play one of the other Mario Party games, because they're worlds better. So, yeah. Mario Party on the 3DS. Or Island Tour. Or whatever the flying fuck this one's called. Mini games are good. The boards look nice. I like the fact they give you information about all the boards. But at the end of the day, it sucks. I've never thought I'd say that about a Mario Party game. Well, until next time, keep on gaming.